Hi there, I'm Alistair,
And I'm Ashley.
and welcome to How to Drink Wine presents How to Taste Wine Like a Boss, and more specifically, How to Taste White Wine Like a Boss for your CMS exams. A little bit about us. My name's Alistair. I am kind of like a prodigy of Ashley's. I went through Ashley's coaching and through Ashley's sort of tasting methods, and I passed the tasting aspect of the CMS exam with flying colours. I am not a sommelier. I used to work in the industry about 15 years ago, started my own businesses and stuff like that, and then I came into wine because it's always been something I've been interested in, and passing the court certified exam was always a minimum standard for me moving forward. So that's a little bit about me. What about yourself, Ashley?
Great. Well, I was a working sommelier wine director for 15 years until the pandemic hit. And then I actually started my own online coaching business to help students pass the certified sommelier exam. Finding another job as a wine director where I'm located was pretty hard, even for an advanced sommelier, which I passed my advanced in 2014. So I started seeing if I could help people pass their exams online since everything was becoming so easily to do digitally. And I've had 50 students pass their certified exam in the past 2.5 years, including Alistair, which is great. I've mentored students both in the American and the European court, which is also great. So Alistair.
And Ashley's on and it goes as expected.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we're good. We're back. You're just
so basically, I realized that blind tasting online was actually very doable and pretty successful. Yep. What I noticed, though, is the traditional way of tasting doesn't really necessarily work. So that is why we're here today, right?
Yeah. So pretty much in this video, we're going to kind of go over like where to start your tasting, why the court focuses on specific wines. So the American court is a little bit different from the European court, just a little bit. And then we're going to talk about why the grid, and also Ashley's approach to tasting wine, why it generally is really, really effective. So if you just give me 2 seconds, because not surprisingly.
I'll say, if you guys don't know, we do have wine today too.
Yeah, we've already kind of drank a little bit of wine today already. So. So where to start in your wine tasting journey if you are moving forward for certified, even the introductory exam? I just want to mention that it's extremely important that you have a good background and knowledge when you actually walk into the room for your intro exam. You don't want to be like me. So I failed my first attempt at the introductory exam because although I might have known a lot about soil and regions and things like that, I knew nothing about grape theory. I literally knew nothing. So it's really important to just taste wine, like as much wine as you can, but make it focused on the wines that are actually testable, and you are most likely going to get some form of that sort of wine in an exam. Why does the court focus on specific wines? Well, in my mind, it's purely because these are the wines that you're going to find in the main restaurants and the main sort of wine bars around about the world. They will focus on these key varieties. In the European court, there is 10 white varieties. I think there's 8 in the American court, if that's correct. The only difference is in the European court, we have Gruner Veltliner and we have Viognier. And we focus on them because they have international marketability. You know, like they are the wines that most people are going to find in restaurants around about the world. And not only that, the court likes to focus on these because specific characteristics are in these wines that you're going to deal with on a regular basis if you're chatting to a guest in a restaurant or a wine bar who's going to have many questions, and you need to know your ins and outs to answer them. That's really why.
Yeah, I think that was a great explanation. If you want to share the screen too, we can show you.
Yeah.
So both European court and the court of Master Sommeliers America, they actually have these sheets that you can look at that will tell you what is testable. Oh, wrong one. That's actually the European grid. We're going to go through grids in a whole another section.
So as you say here, the European one, we've got That is red. There we go. There's the whites: Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, Sauvignon Blanc, Torrontés, Chenin Blanc, Albarino, Riesling, Gruner Veltliner, Viognier, and Gewürztraminer. And then on the American side, we have.
And you can see here in the American grid too that it's going to give you the ability. I was going to say, Alistair, can you scroll down because it's not giving me the ability to? Yeah.
I cannot scroll down on this.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. Hold on one second. I think I can figure this out. Watch this. Watch this, baby. Right? Is it scrolling now?
Yeah, it's scrolling. Don't
yeah. So you can see here that the American Quarterlies gives you some actual like specific areas and regions. So Albarino, Chardonnay, Chenin Blanc, Gewürztraminer, Pinot Grigio from Italy only, Riesling from Germany only, Sauvignon Blanc, and Torrontés. Now, the really cool thing is all of these grapes have specific things that when you know what to look for, you'll never get your wines wrong again, which is actually pretty amazing. So these are all downloadable from both either the European or the American court. So for whatever you would like them. And I think we can stop sharing that because the next thing to really talk about is why these grids. Now, the grids are slightly different between the European and American courts as well, but the idea is that we're all on the same page. So the idea of structure, what you're looking for in fruit, non-fruit, earth, wood, those kind of things are all laid out for you so that we all have a common terminology within the Court of Master Sommeliers. Now, if you've gone through any other kind of wine education, the grids and the way that they taste will be different, completely different. You know, in WSET, we call Pinot Grigio high acid. In the Court of Master Sommeliers, we actually go more on titratable acidity, so it would be more medium plus, right? Where like Riesling would be the highest acid grape we taste. Mm-hmm. So that really plays into the technique. Now, blind tasting, and it's great. One of my mentors actually said this in his recent book. Blind tasting is really 80% theory. But when you understand the key techniques in a grape or the key indicators in a grape, you can figure out a wine pretty much within the first 30 seconds. So I noticed a lot of my students were struggling with the traditional way of tasting, which was you look at the wine, you talk about the color. And for white wines, most white wines are some sort of straw, right? Getting a yellow or a gold wine is pretty rare. And then you smell it and you talk about the fruit, the non-fruit, the earth, the wood, and then you taste it, you do the same thing, and then finally go through your structure. All the grapes that are testable have very different structure calls. And if they are similar to another grape, they then have different key indicators or genetic components in the grape that tell a difference between other varieties. So when you're tasting Sauvignon Blanc, it is the only grape that will have notes of pyrazines or green vegetables. And we're talking about all of these terms in a second. So I started making my students taste their wines first. The first thing you do is you literally smell it and you taste it. You do your structure, and then we're going to go through some key indicators. This should take you, when you get good at it, with 30 seconds to process. Once you do, if you're not at a specific varietal, you're at least in a small family of varietals. Now, most people will always be like, keep your options open, right? You should always keep things in line. Be like, no, honestly, if you're not getting green vegetables in a wine or grass notes in a wine, it's not Sauvignon Blanc. Throw it out. It's not. It may be there structurally, but there are certain genetic traits in grapes that a grape will never lose that will be there whether or not that Sauvignon Blanc is from New Zealand or from Sancerre. So we're going to teach you how to do that today. How's that sound, Alistair?
Sounds pretty damn good, to be honest.
Yeah? Great. So we're going to show you the technique. Alistair's going to blind taste a wine, and I'm going to guess what it is. I have no idea what his wine is, although he's been drinking it for a while.
Maybe a half bottle.
How and why this works.
Okay, so it's quite interesting. The wine I'm actually drinking is a white. I never drank white wine. I never liked white wine. This is actually the white wine that actually kind of converted me to drinking more white wine. I understood that I had to actually drink white wine to, for the exam. But this is actually a favorite of mine. I really enjoy this wine. Cool. So fire away.
So the first three things you're going to do are your structure. So we're going to look at residual sugar, acid, and alcohol. We don't care about body right now. We're not going to look at other things, just those main 3 points.
So residual sugar. So this is a dry wine.
Great.
Okay.
So as soon as he says dry wine, there's only 3 varietals that have residual sugar that is testable. It is Riesling, Chenin Blanc, and Gewürztraminer. Two of those are pretty similar. One is drastically different, and that's Gewürztraminer. There's going to be a lot of things that's going to kick Gewürztraminer out. So now that we know it's dry, those 3 grapes are gone. So now we're down to just another large pool. So where is your acid on this wine?
Acid is medium plus on this.
Great. So we know that Riesling, Chenin Blanc will be off dry if they're in your exam. So those are your 2 high acid grapes. They're out. Chablis can be high acid. It's medium plus to high acid. Chardonnay from Burgundy is medium plus. Albarino, Pinot Grigio are medium plus acid. Torrontés is medium plus acid. Okay, so we still have a big pool of grapes here.
Mm-hmm.
Now tell me, where's your alcohol?
Alcohol is medium plus on this as well.
Great. That is awesome. So cooler climate wines tend to have, less alcohol to them. Unfortunately, being in the medium plus camp doesn't eliminate a lot. Like Sauvignon Blanc is also still in here, right? So we're just looking at a bunch of wines right now that could fit this bill. Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Torrontés, Pinot Grigio, Albarino. Still though, this is when we move into the key indicators. It's either a winemaking technique, which is oak usage, or like I said, genetic components in the grapes. So is there oak on this wine? And when we say oak, we're talking like new barrel, not just neutral. We want to taste vanilla, cardamom, cinnamon, nutmeg, right? Think Burgundy, California Chardonnay.
Yeah, there's no oak on this. This is not an oaky one.
Great. So that kicks out California Chardonnay. That kicks out Burgundy from the Côte d'Or, right? If you get a testable version of Burgundy from the Côte d'Or, it's going to have oak on it.
It's going to have oak 100%.
Sweet. We still have a lot to go through because now it could potentially be Chablis, even though Chablis tends to be higher acid. And it can still be a lot of other things. So let's start talking about genetic components in these grapes. Pyrazines is that compound that makes Sauvignon Blanc taste grassy or bell peppery. Now, what's really neat is pyrazine chains tend to break down in heat. So in a warmer climate, you may get less of them, but it also tends to bind with a cool little chemical called thiols, which creates grapefruit and pineapple notes. So are you getting any grass? Are you getting any fresh cut green vegetables like bell peppers or jalapeno? Or are you getting any grapefruit?
So for me on this wine, I'm getting grass and grapefruit.
Great.
Two things there. Yep.
As soon as he says it, there's only one testable grape that has those chemical components in it. There's only one. So we are in Sauvignon Blanc camp here. There's nothing else this could be. Yeah. Now, notes of dried hay or other herbal tones are not necessarily Sauvignon Blanc. They can show up in a lot of other grapes.
This does have tarragon and it does have hay as well. As the 2 other things that are in there.
So if we were to keep going through our key indicators, we would then ask about rotundone, which is a chemical family that actually tastes like white pepper or radishes, or in the Syrah family, it has that really sharp black pepper note that you get in wines.
Yep.
Rotundone is only found in Gruner Veltliner as a white wine, and it's only found in the Syrah Grenache family as a red. So if we did get rotundone, are you getting any rotundone here?
No, I'm not getting any rotundone here.
That's out. Now, the next thing to look for, if we were to continue on, would be terpenes. And terpenes are floral notes. Some grapes are just barely floral, and some grapes, like Gewürztraminer and Torrontés, are super, super floral. It's like rose essential oil or a soapiness to the wine. Does any of that exist? Is it low terpenes? Is it slightly floral, or is it
It's if you could do a medium minus, then I would say it's medium minus. There is a little bit of honey blossom in there, but it's really about it. It's not a Torrontés.
Yeah, so Gewürztraminer Torrontés is out, right? And sometimes these indicators will kick out a grape more than once, which really just tells you what it is. Yeah. And it may leave a bunch of grapes in the middle, right? Which is then we kind of keep going to figure it out. The last thing you're going to look for as a winemaker technique is their lead. If this was no to everything, there was no oak, no pyrazines, no rotundone, medium to low terpenes, kind of floral, but not really. Then you'd look and see if the yeast cells were left in the barrel or in the tank after fermentation. Lees contact, Lees are dead yeast cells, is used to make a wine that can be pretty neutral, feel richer and rounder. Mm-hmm. Is there any Lees contact here?
No.
No, great.
I wouldn't say so.
So here's
there is to me, and I'm just going to throw this in, there is a little bit of malolactic in there.
There's a little.
Just you can feel it in the back of the throat, just as you can get that a little bit, but that's it.
Malolactic is the term for a bacterial conversion that happens in all reds and only some white wines. It's, again, a technique that winemakers use to make a wine feel a little richer. So here's the thing is most oak usage and mallow go hand in hand. If you do get a little bit of mallow, though, that is just a winemaker thing, right? That is their personal choice. So we know there's pyrazines on this wine. Okay. At this point, you just have to decide, is this New Zealand or is this Sancerre? Is this coming from France, from a cool climate, or is this coming from the New World, from a cool climate? Here's the unique thing about this is in New Zealand, the winemakers want the pyrazines to stand out. They want it to taste like passion fruit, grapefruit, papaya. They want that grass, jalapeno pepper. In Sancerre, many of the winemakers consider a lot of pyrazines a fault. So they'll be more integrated. You'll get some beautiful fruit with it. It'll be lighter. It'll be more mineral, which means it'll taste like wet stones or wet rocks more than New Zealand will. So if we're medium plus across the board, this could be either one. Is this more rich and tropical fruit with those pyrazines, or is this more reserved, Alistair?
It is more rich, and there's a fruit here that my dad grows in his garden called gooseberries, which is quite apparent in this wine.
Great. So if you're telling me that, then this can only be New Zealand. So it's New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. And because we know that the court is going to give you more of a current vintage at the certified level, I'm going to guess it's 2021.
Nope. Your New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc? Yes, but this is a 2018.
Oh, that's old.
Yeah, I know.
Old one.
That's what I was saying. Like when we spoke earlier on, I was like, I'm drinking a wine of a vintage I've not had of this. It is older.
Great.
So I think that's where maybe those sort of like hay components are coming in as well. Like there's like a little bit more tertiary been sitting in the bottle a little bit more. You get a little bit more of that, and maybe that could also, and maybe it isn't, but that's generally where that's coming. Like chamomile sort of flavors coming in there, but
that's really from age. Most New Zealand wines are like young and fresh.
Yeah, fresh. When I saw this wine, I was like, I need to buy it because this is a wine. And you got to go on the producer.
Ooh, let's see what's available in Serbia, guys.
So I'd say this like a 2021 bottle of this would literally be the benchmark. This is this producer is the benchmark for.
So then it would be Kim Crawford or Cloudy Bay.
It's Cloudy Bay.
There you go. Right? So really, when we taste, it is 80% theory. If you can just understand these little small things, then everything becomes easier. And then you can focus on filling out your grid at your exam. You can really focus on like creating the notes that you need rather than being like, oh my God, I wrote a bunch of stuff down. What is it? Right?
Yeah.
So this is literally called flipping the grid. Ta-da!
Yeah, great wine. Like I said earlier on, a wine that actually converted me to drinking more white wine. It was the first New Zealand wine I'd ever drank, and I'd always like I don't know, this is probably quite something that's quite a lot of people, maybe not people who are going through the court, and maybe people who are just getting into wine. They have a tendency to move away from anything that's a screw cap. Because they have this idea in the head that all wines should be corks, and screw caps are bad wines. But obviously, when you start to go through and you understand that New Zealand is literally also the benchmark for bottling wine with a screw cap, and being able to.
And screw cap is great for storage and travel, right? And it's also great for making wine feel young. And even some screw caps, so the Stelvin enclosures is what they're called, have micro cuts in them that actually allow micro amounts of oxygen. So even if a red wine is under screw cap, there's like literally ways to let little bits of oxygen, like a real cork, over time. You just don't run the risk of like leakage, spillage, or cork taint at that point. Yeah. So screw caps are actually not terrible things.
Screw caps are not.
Side lesson for the day.
There we go. Every day's a school day.
Yeah. So why do we use this technique, Ali? Like, why are we doing it this way?
Because, this is my thoughts on this. Nobody teaches wine like this, to taste wine like this, and it's like the grid is the grid can be quite. When you look at a grid, it can be quite overwhelming, to be honest. But when you break it down to just very basic elements, it makes the whole thing just a piece of cake. It becomes so much easier. And when I was doing we're leaving red wines for another video, but when I was doing my certified exam, being able to literally step into the tasting aspect and go, okay, I know this is not 50% of these grapes, and looking at essentially looking at a white wine, smelling it, giving it a quick taste, and saying, okay, I can just remove. That's it. And it's not like a hack. It's putting good grape theory to use, and they don't really teach it like this in the court at all. They don't. So
yeah. Well, and here's the thing: is I started my wine journey. I passed my certified in 2008. And I tasted for the advanced and master's exam. I've been doing it for 10 years now, prepping for the master's exam and advanced. I'm not going to sell myself short on that. But as I did, I wish someone would have figured this out sooner, right? We never thought about the chemical analysis of grapes, like why we get smoke and why we get black pepper and Syrah versus why we get like pine needles and forest floor and tobacco in Cabernet, until you start realizing like, these are actual chemical constituents that are genetically linked to that grape. So why don't we focus on them this way? I spent years shooting in the dark, trying to memorize things, right? Like vomiting a bunch of info about a wine and then somebody telling me I'm wrong and then doing it again and getting it right and trying to figure out where my paths crossed. Yeah. And so I was like, when I watched my students struggle, I was like, okay, just do your structure first. Just do the structure. And then we broke down the rest of those great key indicators. Yep. So that's why we do what we do. Now, I won't lie. This is not a foolproof method. It is 80 to 90% accurate though, all the time. Yeah. The idea though is that some grapes will seem pretty similar, and then you have to really look at more minute things to break them apart, right? There's a group of grapes we call the neutral triangle, which when you get to the advanced and masters, you add a few more into that. These are grapes that are like medium to medium plus alcohol, medium plus to high acid. They are dry wines. They may have lees contact. It's Chablis, Pinot Grigio, and Albarino. They're the most confused grapes in a tasting. So when you go through, I want you to think of this as like a horse race, right? All your grapes come out the gate at the same time, but as soon as you taste it, certain horses fall to the back because of structure. And then you go through, if it doesn't have oak on it, then Chardonnay falls to the back, or for the European court, Viognier falls to the back. If it doesn't have pyrazine, Sauvignon Blanc falls to the back. So then a few grapes start really taking the lead. So if you are in a realm of similar grape varieties, one will inch above the other, right? But again, sometimes horse races, it gets pretty close. But it's the sum of the parts of this deductive reasoning that work. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do is let's go through that one more time. What you're looking for when you taste white wine is first residual sugar. Is it dry or off dry? Where's your acid? Where's your alcohol? And then your key indicators to look for is new oak usage, pyrazines, or the family of chemical compounds that create green bell pepper, grassy notes. They can tie together with another chemical family that creates like grapefruit and tropical notes. Rotundone, or that radish kind of pepper note. Terpenes, is it low, medium, or high representation of flowers? Like how floral is the wine? And then the last one is lees contact. And lees contact is interesting because it can taste sometimes like baking bread, but a lot of times it'll come across like beer yeast. It's almost like that rich maltiness of beer, right? The yeast from beer rather than just baking bread. So if wine tends to taste a little beer-like, that's a good indicator of lees. All right.
Right.
Do you want me to go this time?
Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Let's see if I've learned anything new.
What?
I'm saying, let's see if I've learned anything new.
I think you're going to do well. All right. So I'm going to take it, smell it, and taste it. All right. So the wine is dry.
Okay. Acid levels?
Medium plus.
Medium plus. Okay. Alcohol?
Medium. Bordering on medium plus, but it's still medium.
So we've got a dry wine, medium plus acid with medium alcohol. Okay, so are we looking at this from a European court or an American court?
Yeah, you can take out, you're in Europe, so take out whatever of those you want. Kick them out.
Right, okay, cool. So for me, this then, I dry wine, you can forget about Gewurz. Really. And we can forget about Chenin. I'm going to do this like I was literally tasting the wine.
Yeah.
Medium alcohol, and a medium plus acidity. I'm already climate. Okay. And so, oak usage on this?
No oak.
No oak at all?
Yep.
Okay. Is there any pyrazines?
Nope, no pyrazines.
No oak. No pyrazines. Okay. Terpenes?
Oh, you missed Rotundown.
Oh, I was coming to Rotundo after.
Gotcha. All right. This is a medium terpenic grape. It smells and tastes like apple blossoms. It has a slight peachy note to it, and it's got just this like really nice like gardenia or white flower note. So this is where we call medium terpenes, is like I can give my flowers a name, but it's not like super intense, right? Not essential oil or potpourri. If you were like, okay, all white wines are floral in their own right, but like I can't really pull them out, that would be low. So this is definitely a medium terpenic grape.
Medium terpenic grape. No Rotundo?
No Rotundown.
And then means there'll be lees contact.
There is a beer yeastiness here. It has this texture to it. And it's funny, you don't necessarily taste on this wine in the beginning, but once everything's gone and you just start to get that evaporation in your mouth once the wine's out of it, yeah, it's got this like little lager thing going on.
Okay. So no oak. Okay, I'm getting rid of Chardonnay. It's a dry white wine. Acids medium plus. I'm going to keep this in the old world, cool climate. Alcohol is medium. I am going to get rid of. So Gewürztram's away, Shen's away, Chardonnay's away. Riesling is away.
Yep.
And then it could be Riesling actually. So, but then
Where's the acid in Riesling? Always.
It's always high.
Always high. Is this?
So it's always high, so that's cool. So we can get rid of Riesling, get rid of them, and we can start to think old world, but it's only medium alcohol. I'm thinking a moderate climate. Then I'm not going through the full thing here, but I'm going based on terpenes. When you taste this wine, is there any like salty saline in the wine?
It is slightly saline. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So this is where we go past the key indicators. So you should be down to a handful of grapes right now, right?
I've got 3 grapes that I'm looking at right now. Actually,
what are your 3 grapes?
I've got 2. Actually, I've got 2. To the point where now, when you said that, I've got 1.
What are they?
My 2 grapes that I had, although I said Chenin at the start, so I actually put Chenin back in. But then, because you said it was a little bit terpenic, I took Chenin out at the start just because it was a dry, but it could be now that you said it's a little bit terpenic. But medium alcohol and medium plus acidity, I am now left with Chenin and Albarino.
Okay, why would you not leave in Pinot Grigio?
That's a good question, actually. Why would I not leave Pinot Grigio?
I just talked about it, the neutral triangle for Lee's contact.
Yeah, so there you go, Lee's triangle. The neutral triangle and Lee's contact. Cool. That's a good point.
So now you have 3 grapes that it could be.
I've got 3. That's right. I've got 3.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick with my initial feeling of what this is because of the terpenes, and I'm going to go with this is a Rias Baxis Albarino medium alcohol, something like a 2020.
You would be right. Rias Baxis Albarino, 2022 technically.
I could, like, obviously, probably in the vintage there. I would
Well-
dig in a little bit deeper on some other elements. I was
Yeah,
trying to keep
and
it focused. I was trying to keep it focused on the 4 key indicators.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing though, those key indicators told you until you got to the neutral triangle. That's when you just have to do a little bit more dig in, right?
Yeah.
So Chablis does tend to be, it's going to be in your exam, it's going to be Premier Cru or like a really, really good village level. So it'll still be a neutral barrel. So Chablis.
I got Chablis. I definitely got a Chablis in one of my exams, and it was kind of obvious that it was Chablis that was in. It was like just everything. It was like you knew straight away this is a Chablis. Like it couldn't have been anything else.
Well, and Chablis tends to be higher acid. It's going to be, if it's medium plus, it's on the very high end, or it's high acid, and it tends to show oxidation. Albarino does have more floral notes than Pinot Grigio and Chablis, and it tends to have this peachy note because of it. And you're right, the salinity. All 3 grapes can have salinity, but in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Pinot Grigio is just really neutral. It is slightly bitter. It has less expressiveness to it. It still falls in the same structural components. But the biggest thing about Pinot Grigio is that it does have lees and it's slightly bitter. It's never this floral. It's never like nutty and rich or high as acid as Chablis. So when you're stuck in the neutral triangle, that's how you break them down.
Yeah, cool.
But you nailed it.
Yeah, it's stick to what you know, and but like I was there, and I was like, okay, as soon as the terpenes, and I was like, okay, I need to bring Chenin Blanc in, and I was like, there's only like that question was if you said it wasn't, if you said there was no salinity and stuff like that, then I'd say okay, then Albarino's out, I can forget about that, and then I can move on to probably Chenin.
Yeah, but where's the acid in Chenin Blanc?
It's actually Chenin Blanc acid can actually be medium minus to moderate.
Chenin Blanc's high.
Oh, it's like, wait, Chenin Blanc? Oh.
Yeah. Riesling and Chenin Blanc have the RS in them, quick mini lesson, because the residual sugar balances the super high acid. Here's the thing. This is a good ringer for like dry Vouvray, but I don't think it's testable for you. And it's definitely dry Vouvray is not testable in the American court. It's only off dry. So
I think Vouvray would be a testable.
Yeah, it depends on if it's sec or demi-sec for you. So we should take a look at that.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, though, it's, it is terpenic. You nailed it. And I specifically picked something in the neutral triangle because I wanted to see, this is the hardest part about blind tasting for anyone in any method.
The amount of times that we were, when I was, you were kind of working me through is the amount of times that we sat in the neutral triangle on grapes, and it was just like we're just going round and round and round and round in circles. And I was like, no, you need to, it's just figuring out the individual key indicator of each grape. Yeah.
Well, and here's the biggest secret the court will never tell you is if you're in the neutral triangle and you call one for the other, you're still going to pass.
Yeah.
You're still going to pass. As long as you fill out your grid well at that point, like you really pay attention to your fruit, your non-fruit descriptors, you're going to pass the wine. They're just too similar and everything's too close for you not to pass the wine at that point.
I think it's important as well to leave your notes on the piece of paper as well. It's not considered gradable, but like on on my white wine, it literally had RS, acid, alcohol, key indicator right next to it, and then I was filling it out as I went down, and I was like, and then I just went like that. Crossed out a bunch of stuff and then carried on, and then there you go.
Yeah, and that's what Ellie and I teach people is like when we teach you how to blind taste this way, we also teach you to write everything down, even if they say they're not going to grade you on it. It's going to help you. Write it all down.
Will definitely help. And then you go in the reds, and then you walk in, and then it's thin skin or thick skinned, and there we go. Yeah. But we'll cover that in the next video. So yeah, it was fun. Good. It's good to be wrong. I like being wrong. It's good.
You were still right though.
I know, but like getting my acidity mixed up with other grapes and stuff like that, it's good. It's good. It means I need to keep practicing as I go on to my advanced SOM journey.
And remember, this is just more theory, but if you get the theory down, you'll never get your wine wrong.
Yep. That's grape theory is so important. So important. You can sit and learn all the Grand Crus, all the regions, everything. But if you don't know your grapes, then you might as well kind of forget about it, I guess. the end of the day.
Yeah.
Honest way of looking at it. When you stand up in a group of like 30 people and you're in that spot and they're asking you and you don't know anything, then your grape theory's off and you need to work on it. So
yeah,
very good.
And that's what we do for a living, is we're here to help you pass these tests and learn how to taste and learn how to be the most efficient taster.
Yeah.
Right. We don't want you wasting your time on waxing poetic. Yes, it's nice to speak really beautifully about a grape, but like save that for your Robert Parker style tasting notes when you become a big fancy salmon.
Yeah, I think it's quite important as well. Like I think the when it comes to exam, obviously the certified exams set up in a specific way. You do your theory paper with then your tasting. Well, you'll do your tasting at the same time as the theory paper. I don't know if that is the case with the American course. So
yeah, you sit down, you do your blind tasting, and then they pick up those tests and hand you your paper copy for your theory right then and there.
Well, you have the choice. You can do your theory paper or you can do your blind tasting. Either or. So but you don't want to sit and have your white wine get to room temperature. So generally everybody starts with gets the wine tasting out of the way. Cool.
The
Excellent.
tasting. Not to mention it loosens you up, right? Like you just.
Yeah, I know, a couple of wines in the middle of the day is never a bad thing, is it?
Never. Right? I mean, for you, I know it's like 9 p.m., but for me, it's like 3. So cheers.
Yeah, cheers. For everybody else watching this, I hope you enjoyed this little journey of kind of going through our approach to tasting wine. I need to 100% recommend, like, it is highly effective. Just off of these 2 wines, we pretty much nailed the wines looking at some key components. And that's it. At the end of the day, at the certified level, you do not need to go all the way down to a producer. I don't even think you need to go to a hierarchy either. Actually, you don't need to do that. I think
just country, maybe a region.
Country, climate, grape variety, and the year. And with this approach, you can quite easily do it. Obviously, a couple more questions. We would have nailed our vintages most likely as well. But you're allowed. I think you're allowed a little bit of leeway, and you're allowed to be a couple of years out. It's okay.
Yeah, and to add to that, remember, this is about showing technique, not getting the wine right. The idea here is to show, and this is what they're looking for. They're looking for you to call visual notes, to call white pepper or rotundone. They're looking for you to call flowers. They're looking for you to call your structure correctly. So do those first to make you feel more confident about the grape, and then do everything else. Yeah,
exactly. And then once you've got it down, it's you end up blind tasting like a boss. There we go.
Blind tasting like a boss. So if anybody wants to know more about us, because we're just weird people right now on YouTube, where would they find us, Ali?
They find us at howtodrinkwine.com. And there you can booking one-to-one sessions with myself or with Ashley. We are also taking this entire tasting experience and this whole how we do it, and we're going to turn it into a very, very, very informative ebook that will be available very soon, we hope. And it'll give you everything you need to know. It'll talk you through the exam, it'll talk you through grape varieties, it'll if and then flow charts. So every time you pick up a wine, you can quite comfortably walk through it yourself. Excellent stuff. Okay.
And stay tuned for our next few videos. We're also turning howtodrinkwine.com into a massive education site. So we're going to offer basic wine classes. We offer wine coaching. We're going to kind of really cater to everybody from WSET to the Court of Master Sommeliers. Yeah. Our goal is to give you the roadmap that you may not get in other places. And our goal is to help you pass. So
Exactly. And the Grape Academy, which is very exciting, which I'm looking forward to doing. Because, learning about grapes is excellent because it literally is grape theory. And once the Grape Academy is live, then there should be no reason why you can't pass all that knowledge in that. Excellent. Cool. Right, yo. Thanks for watching. Ashley, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. And cheers. In the next video, we are doing red wines, so look out for it. Okay.
Yay.